Last time we saw David Young and AJ Styles together here in the rings of NWA Wildside, we saw Styles and Young, who at the time I thought were very good friends. We saw Styles super kick David Young right in the temple and left without explanation.
There's been a lot of contempt between these two, and I've tried to do a little research and get a few answers from both men, and it seems to have something to do with both men's tenure in Wildside, a little bit about respect, and a little bit about what each man has been accomplishing outside of Wildside. AJ Styles was the forerunner into NWA TNA. His match with David Young in Nashville, Tennessee actually got him his NWA TNA contract, which is where he's been for most of the weeks here in NWA Wildside. From his appearances there, get him exposure in Japan and all over the world. David Young, the same way, and both men have a lot of animosity going into this match, but they both got a lot of respect for one another. They've had two of quite possibly the greatest matches the NWA arena has ever seen, and now they're gonna lock it up one more time. No time limit here. Christmas Chaos 2002 as these two men make their Wildside homecoming.
And a series of misses from both competitors, with David Young getting the worst out of that encounter, going in hamstring first, and now goes sailing over that top rope, courtesy of a charging lariat from the phenomenal AJ Styles.
AJ Styles goes for a Piscano, but David Young early in this matchup moves out of the way rather quickly.
Oh, the flying body hurling right towards you. I think that's a good advice.
AJ Styles leaps the ring barricade like a cat. Of AJ Styles is seconded only by that of probably the role model Jason Cross, and that's about it that I've ever seen in all my years as a wrestling fan.
Good defensive mechanism on the part of the phenomenal AJ Styles. Actually, a few more guys should be able to pull that one off. Sure beats sailing in back first into that security railing, which is no fun. Obviously, this shows you that the leg power of AJ Styles is in fine form here this evening. If Young realized that, maybe he should go after those legs.
The crowd seems to actually be turning on AJ Styles here.
Well, not since the days when he was a member of the NWA Elite have we heard that chant.
Well, I don't know what the reaction from the fans are, but we know AJ Styles did unprovokedly attack David Young. Styles up and over, lands on his feet. What amazing agility yet again. Young goes for a power bomb, but Styles counters out of that by landing on his feet. Big Hurricane Rana right in the middle of the ring.
I thought maybe they would resolve some of their differences right now. Styles goes charging. Good night, nurse.
Tope con hilo to the outside by AJ Styles, and he cleared the top rope.
Yeah, there's a price to pay, though. I believe Styles hit shin first on that security railing, in addition to all of his body hitting David Young in the attempt. There's a reason they call them high-risk maneuvers, AJ.
And if AJ Styles is in the hospital after that match, he'll know it all too well. But high risk is the lifestyle of AJ Styles, at least in the wrestling ring. And that is definitely something he knows all too well. He knows the consequences of those maneuvers. AJ Styles keeps himself in such good shape. Injury has rarely occurred to him, but let's knock on wood that it doesn't happen. Drop toe hold, running swanton bomb by AJ Styles, hooks a tight leg, but David Young puts a shoulder up.
Speaking of injuries, Young is one hurt unit here this evening. And a recent encounter with nothing less than AJ Styles. I believe it was Louisiana. Correct me if I'm wrong. These two fought it out. I was hoping maybe they'd resolve some of their differences. Apparently not.
It's been all over the country that AJ Styles and David Young carried their ward. Good grief! AJ Styles goes for a springboard something or other, but it didn't pan out as David Young was quick to swipe his feet out from under him, and Styles lands crash and burn to the arena floor.
But Styles is walking. I guess the burning was brief, but Young uncharacteristically is letting AJ Styles getting a second wind here. Not a good idea. Maybe Young was in need of one himself.
Big boot to the face. Wait a minute. David Young going for his signature moonsault to the outside. Yasai. And AJ Styles quick to pull his legs out from under him. He's been in the ring with David Young enough times to know. Asai there, but he's caught. And David Young, oh, good grief. Hot shots. AJ Styles.
Chest first on top of that security barrier. Right in front of section 3-4 here at the NWA Arena.
The late and legendary hot stuff Eddie Gilbert used that as a finishing maneuver, but I don't think he ever used it quite like that.
These guys are hot stuff of another generation. Here we are, Christmas Chaos 2002. David Young and AJ Styles duking it out in now classic Wildside tradition, as that move perfectly shows.
And there is the signature Asai moonsault from David Young to the outside on Styles. David Young is not afraid to take a risk, even at 246 pounds, not exactly a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
This man has climbed up that very ring entranceway and done a moonsault off the top.
I'd say he's probably the largest man still doing Asai moonsaults in modern day pro wrestling.
And David Young, the complete wrestling package, because he is a power wrestler. He's working on 13 years of pro wrestling experience, so he's got that to his advantage. He can work on the mat, and he can also fly through the air. David Young is a complete wrestling package if there ever was one, and that is why AJ Styles really fears him as a competitor.
Oh, God.
David Young, what a clothesline.
David Young is also one of the most mature pro wrestlers you're going to see. Remember early on in his early days, and I remember I was calling some of those matches there at North Georgia Wrestling. This guy was a hothead at the nth degree. But since then, in a lot of grueling battles throughout Georgia, throughout North America, and now Japan, David Young has turned into such a powerful force in the pro wrestling scene. He's one of the most hard-to-beat guys you have ever seen, as I'm sure AJ Styles can attest to, even as we speak.
Well, AJ Styles in his Wildside homecoming, lying on his back right now as the Messiah of the Spine Buster, laying the punishment on thick. Big, beautiful Irish whip there. What a kick to the side of the head. AJ Styles delivered a kick with such quickness and ferocity. David Young never saw it coming. He didn't even have time to blink before he was out on the mat, and it could have knocked David Young out cold. But the Messiah, the Spine Buster, with ring presence and experience enough to know to kick out of that maneuver, and that's more than we can say for a lot of guys.
I'll tell you, but the more times you wrestle AJ Styles, the more wise you are in the ways that he wrestles in that ring. But the problem there lies that no two AJ Styles matches are really alike, which makes it all that much more difficult to mount a serious and a consistent attack against the phenomenal AJ.
David Young spins AJ Styles around into a reverse sidewalk slam.
Both men are out and risking a count out in the process. Styles and Young's trying to stir here. In fact, this is kind of the second win that these guys probably need to be developing here during this time.
Well, this is the opportunity, both men down and out. If they can get a breath, this is the time to do it. They got to pace themselves in this kind of matchup against each other. Snapmare takeover, and David Young doing exactly that. You think he's got time to rest here on the mat. However, locking that leg scissors and applying the pressure, and pressure enough to keep a worm in hot ashes like AJ Styles down, has got to be wearing you out in the process.
A lot of leg power in David Young, trying to cut off the flow of blood to the brain. All for naught now, as AJ Styles takes that as an opportunity to tie up the legs of the Messiah of the Spine Buster. And you're not going to get too much Spine Busters. Oh, dear.
AJ Styles going for his signature inverted STF. But David Young knows the maneuver well enough to fight it and is able to break it, but Styles yet again turns him all the way vertical.
Every part of the body of David Young has got to be hurting, as AJ Styles is trying to fold David Young totally the wrong way and in half. Styles is so good. Boy, that guy has really improved his mat game considerably even from the last time that we saw him. Can the man be any more dangerous? Apparently so. Young not willing to concede.
What a chop to the back there by AJ Styles. As these two men are jockeying for position and beating the tar out of one another to do so. Punt kick to the ribs by AJ Styles.
Educated feet, I believe the cliche goes, and the thunderous kicks shown by AJ Styles along with many of his competitors that he's faced over the last year at NWA TNA and throughout North America. Oh, a drop kick didn't get everything he wanted to. But the problem is, I think it still did enough damage, obviously, to take David Young off his feet. An AJ Styles song I'm not familiar with. Must be his new theme song.
Interesting.
Good comeback, Dan. And a rear chin lock from the phenomenal AJ Styles. Again, trying to curtail any potential attack out of David Young. Young has faced an awful lot of punishment in the last few minutes of this matchup.
And AJ Styles continuing to cinch in. He's got the rear chin lock.
And he's got that knee jam in the top of the back, too.
Now that's not the way they show you how to do a rear chin lock here in the States, that's for sure. That is a Hiro Matsuda rear chin lock.
AJ sharing a few unkind words with the faithful here.
AJ drop kick off the chest in the corner. Young counters, German suplex. And I swear to God, AJ Styles broke his neck.
David Young has seen that maneuver more than a few times, saw that one coming. Perhaps AJ Styles should have reshuffled a lot of his patented moves. Maybe he shouldn't use any of the patented moves in this matchup against David Young. Young knows them all too well.
Now let me rephrase that. I've seen AJ Styles land in that position, and any normal man would have broken their neck, but AJ Styles, the trained gymnast, has had a knack for landing on his head and getting up, and he always seems to get up. I'm often scared if he's not going to super kick, right connecting with the temple, and you can hear the thud of the skull of David Young.
And there are an awful lot of adjectives you can put on AJ Styles. Normal ain't one of them.
There's been many times in this arena I thought AJ Styles was dead.
Only to come back and win the match.
And I am not exaggerating in the least. Sunset flip. Counter there by Young. Rolling back over, but Styles with another combination. Quickly countered by Young. Styles rolls through, counters yet again. David Young bridges up beautifully and into a backslide. Styles going for a full Nelson there, but Young with another cradle. AJ Styles with another cradle. And both of these men to their feet, and they're not done. Boom, clothesline rotating by AJ Styles. Unbelievable action here.
AJ Styles perhaps one of the most noteworthy student of Rick Michaels here at the Wildside Dojo in Cornelia, Georgia. And a lot of the trainers here at the Wildside Dojo are somehow looking for the next AJ Styles. Ivero may be out there, but right now I think AJ has that chapter all sewn up all by himself.
2002 has not been a year we've seen a lot of AJ Styles in Wildside, but
much in demand.
He has definitely made his name here. This is definitely his home, and he's always going to come back to NWA Wildside because he's just as much a part of the dream we share here at Wildside. And David Young now also a part of that dream. Goes for a German suplex a second time. Styles counters, an insult to injury. Now Young with a spine buster over his own, and David Young kicks out.
Young did not anticipate a spine buster. I know it's often de rigueur these days in pro wrestling in order to shake up the psychological foundation of your opponent by doing his own finishing move on him.
But there's only one problem when you try to do the spine buster on David Young, and that you can never possibly do it as effectively as he does. That's why he earned the nickname Messiah of the Spine Buster.
Yeah, you can't do it as perhaps with all the power, but there's a surprise level in there. There's a surprise factor, and AJ Styles knows that one all too well, as the phenomenal one is on that top rope. And still not able to hang on to the Messiah. Messiah hangs on to AJ, no problem.
David Young hangs on there.
Styles clash. Hey, and done very well with authority, I might add. But AJ kicks out at 2.8. I think both these guys have sort of psychologically slapped each other in the face within the last minute and a half. What do you say?
Absolutely unreal. What a night it's been, and what a night we have yet to come.
We're not even half over with Christmas Chaos.
Fans, this is a must-own NWA Wildside home video.
Well, if you're watching it right now, you already own it.
You might be over at your pal's house for a little bit of popcorn and whatever you do, and maybe you see this, and maybe you want to buy it. NWA Wildside.
Good comeback, Dan. You're full of those tonight.
I'm full of a lot tonight.
Yes, you are.
Styles on the second rope, catches David Young, inverted DDT coming from a moonsault. Nobody can do that maneuver quite like AJ Styles. David Young kicks out.
Frankly, there's such a thing as a snap DDT. I think we just saw it there. I'll tell you, if you were to document all of the most unique moves of AJ Styles, my friend, you're in triple digits.
And AJ Styles with a mud hole stomp to the head of David Young, the phenomenal one. On the top rope, full 50 splash.
A thing of beauty, but David Young still manages to get his shoulder up. Beauty notwithstanding.
Centimeter, Steven, a centimeter away.
That's all it takes.
And AJ Styles will be the winner of this contest. And there's no championships on the line here in this matchup. It's strictly about pride.
And apparently a lot of hurt feelings, whether it's justified or not. Even at this stage, we're not exactly sure how justified those feelings are. Styles once again going up to that top rope. Going to the well once too much. Oh my goodness, and a spine buster off the top from the Messiah. Who else?
Super Buster by David Young, and this one's over.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the Messiah of the Spine Buster, David